Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to take a look at installing the G35, the 05 to 07 Coupe kit. So we've got a vehicle here that actually has a JDM aftermarket surround on here, so it'll be a little bit different when it comes to an OEM stereo removal to be able to do your install, but it's going to be really similar. I think the main difference is up on the top here, there's actually a little pod that you have to pry up, where you can just get your pry tool underneath this pod to be able to pop up this bottom piece of the plastic, because in the OEM one there's a screw that's in there that holds the whole center unit and everything in. So this aftermarket one doesn't have that, so we won't need to have to deal with that in this installation. So that's the one tip in there when you're trying to figure out why it won't come out. It's because there's a screw underneath this little panel. So to start off with your install, like always, disconnect your negative battery cable, make sure that you don't get any shorts or anything when you're doing your installation, and then we're going to start off working on the shift knob. Now if it is a automatic transmission, there'll be a little sleeve that you push down here and a clip to be able to pop that out. I recommend kind of putting it into neutral so it gives you a little bit of space and play with the shifter in there. If it's a manual shift knob, you're going to unscrew the shift knob itself to be able to bring it out. So now that you've got the shift knob out, you basically are going to kind of pull up on this trim, and it's going to pop out of some pressure clips here to allow us to get to some connectors on the bottom so we can disconnect this trim piece. So we can pull on it and you feel it pop. There, it's popping free. You gotta wiggle a little bit and there it comes. So we can slide this off here, and that allows us to get to the plugs on the underside here. So you're going to want to disconnect these plugs to make sure that you can pull this trim and get it out of the way. So we'll unclip those here, remembering which clip goes where. And tuck those back into the dash. So now that we've got that out of the way, we are going to move to pulling out these side pieces here. Now, they are the one main difference between the earlier model coupes and the 05s to 07s is that these are removable. The older ones, this is all one single solid piece in here. So these ones come out. Typically, they're held in with a couple of little screws that are in here just holding the plastic pieces to the main center console. So we'll grab one. Okay, so now that gives us these free that we can start to kind of wiggle them loose and pry them free from the dash. To help get them free, you might want to just kind of pop up on this center trim piece, so it gives you a little bit of room to pull that back, and that'll expose these so that we can actually kind of pull them forward. When we work our way across, we can feel them pop and come out of the OEM clips. So you want to be gentle with these, making sure that you don't break off any of the different clips on the side, and we're going to do that on both sides here. So kind of pull straight towards you to get them out, and there they pop out. So that has those taken out. Now, this is interesting trim in these cars. This metal piece here typically is going to get in your way of being able to get everything out. So it's in with two different screws in here, Phillips screws. So we're going to remove those. Now you can use your fingers back in here just to kind of gently pry this free from its clips. And now we'll kind of pull it free here. It's not going to help. And we'll just kind of work our way down using our pry tool. We got that free. We can set that aside. I'll just put this in the back. All right. Now, typically you're going to have a few different screws in here then to pull out the stereo unit. They'll be anchored in here, usually some big ones down at the bottom, and in the OEM one that we talked about, there'll be that anchor screw at the top. So we've got a couple here at the bottom that we can disconnect. And then we'll try to wiggle the stereo unit free and unplug all the plugs on the back. So I'm just going to put some cloth over the shifter here so I don't scratch anything. Now, as you can see here on this unit, this is the screw that typically is connected all the way up in the top there. So most people that install this back in don't connect that screw back in because it's just so much easier to get this stuff out. But here we'll just disconnect all the connectors on the back of the stereo. All right, there we have the stereo free, and we're able to set that aside and get started on the installation of the plastics. Okay. We are now going to start to do the installation of the tablet into the dashboard. So this is where you're going to first tuck any electronics that you want in here, whether that's our electronics that plug into the factory harness, or it's a Kenwood or other single DIN small aftermarket stereo that maybe you're connecting with Bluetooth. You're going to zip tie and secure all of your connections back in behind here. And then we're going to reuse the screws that came from the original installation to install things in. So we're going to start with the tablet cradle that comes with the kit. And this is where we're going to essentially, there's little guide pins at the bottom here that will line up with our guide pins, and all the screw holes line up with the factory holes in there. So our first step is to secure all the screws in place. So now we've got the tablet secured, it's in there nice and sturdy on all the different anchor points. We can start to put our trim back in. So we'll start with our top aluminum trim piece. So we'll grab that here and we'll guide that back into place. Again, just the pressure clips, snapping it along as we go. And that's got it installed. So that's got our pressure clips in place. Next thing that we're going to do is put it in our side bolsters here. So you can just tuck these. The top just tucks right underneath that aluminum trim. Snap this guy back down so you can put your two screws back in here to secure these two pieces together. Then we can put our shifter trim back in place. Obviously we would connect these different connections. We're not going to do it for now just for the sake of time. And we'll pop shifter knob over there. We'll snap everything in and we'll screw on our shift knob. Now we're able to take our tablet and we're able to just snap that into these plastics. And that holds it like a phone case, essentially holding it nice and secure in the dash so it doesn't move around. And the last bit is the removable magnetic faceplate. So if you ever want to pull the tablet out, whether that's in extreme heat, hot or cold, or you want to bring the tablet out to charge it or update it or anything like that, you've got quick and easy access. So we'll just slide the faceplate on here. And there we have it. We've got our installation into the dashboard. We've got our tablet kit up in the top there, and we're ready to go. Now, one of the things that you're going to want to do with your electronics, obviously, is you're going to plug in your audio cables and your charge cables in here, or if you're doing Bluetooth, you're going to Bluetooth connect. We've created a couple little loops at the bottom of our cradle so that you can put some zip ties around some of the cables so they don't fall back into the dash, because that's an annoying part if they fall in the back when you're playing around with them. But this has got everything all nicely installed into the dashboard.